Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. So, I do apologize if I lose connection to the stream. Internet's been a little funky, and if anybody has questions, concerns, please just don't hesitate to leave a comment. I am okay. It's just internet being out here being funky with some of the weather, and or just the Wi-Fi company being shicey. But today I'm actually just gonna show off some of the general settings. I'm actually going to change the name of this world. Uh, Prospector. Because this world is pretty much dedicated to the creation of my Prospector, which was my dream ship version of the Reclaimer for space engineers, but instead of having that grapple for your salvage and stuff like that at the front, I want it to be the Prototech drill. And I was having some issues yesterday with it being way too big, way too freaking clunky, taking up way too much space. And I just want to redo it. I also wanted to show some of the kind of the mods that I will be adding. I will be adding the Skyblade and the tank track builder for excavators. If I want to make a tank, I can make a tank. This is for like helicopters, planes, yada yada. The Eli Dang's Hollow HUD is mainly just for a better display while I'm flying about, just because it is boring when we're flying around for like 30, 40 minutes waiting between asteroids and the refinery and stuff like that. Colorful icons just for the sake of having colored icons. Sorry, I keep hearing some person screaming out my window. And then I've got the Skybox, Ashen, Nebula. A lot of my stuff is just for aesthetic. These are the four right here that will be taking the most effect technically to the game. I also did kind of look at my water mod. I kind of want to add the water mod, just for the sake. Yeah, let's add it. Now, like, a lot of this stuff is very simple. This one just adds a bunch of water, which I'm okay with because it still has its own version of a collision that if you hit that water too hard, you're gonna break your ship apart. It will sink to the bottom. The tank tracks and stuff like that, everybody's been wanting tank tracks for this stuff forever. The Skyblade helicopter blades, this is just to create that blade effect for atmospheric thrusters, because that's the main reason I like the flat atmospheric thrusters, is just because you can see those blades more prominently. And you actually, it looks like they're using them for a purpose. Don't get me wrong, the regular thrusters look like they can be thrown underneath the plane. That's it. Yeah, these are the ones I'm mainly here for. I've got plenty of other mods and stuff like that, Leak Finder and stuff like that, in case I'm having like stuff to add some weapons, different other skyboxes, weapon core, vanilla thrusters to increase their stuff. There's plenty of stuff you can do. All you gotta do is browse your workshop. Well, first make sure experimental mode is on, and that's just done in your settings. You can go explore that all on your own, because I would also suggest everybody to explore their settings, go see what you have access to, because your settings are also very handy to you as the engineer. You will be able to change how you spread your grids and stuff like that when you're in creative. It'll show you I would highly suggest y'all mess with y'all's graphics, because this will get taxing after so many PCUs. Build Vision, that one was a good one actually, and is very handy. Oh, is this the only one? Really? Yeah, either way, the Build Vision, this is very simple. We will subscribe to that. Look for whatever mods y'all want to. There's plenty. They will have requirements. I'm on PC, so I can open a lot of items like in the actual workshop. Refresh that. Nope. Duh. Refresh. Shield, yada yada. Where's Build Vision? Alright. And that one is just so you can control each block as you look at it. because I'm tired of going to a block, looking up that block, making sure I have the right block when I could just look at it, adjust what I need to on it, and I'm good. It's also good for like labeling lights and stuff like that. I do apologize. I'm also drinking orange juice, if anybody would like to know. So those are the mods. My advanced settings, everything I've kind of pretty much kept the same. I've got it on safe environmental hostility for the time being, because it is a pain in the rear when you're trying to build, and you know, you've got asteroids crashing into an unfinished little cell or module that you've got placed off to the side. You will want, let's see your in-game scripts. There's a couple things you can add, like wolves, drones, spawn with tools, spiders, progression, super gridding, contracts, some of the stuff to allow specific damage, weather systems. There's a lot of stuff here I suggest all y'all can explore. Y'all can adjust things appropriately. I've got my view distance to normal, just because honestly anything past that I really don't need to be looking at. I'm trying to keep everything scaled. That's what I'm trying to work on. But yeah, and then we'll press OK. Load in. And I guess begin our little adventure. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I tried streaming twice yesterday, specifically to show off, you know, what I've already progressed on, because I couldn't stream it, but I was like, nope, I really got those ideas in my head. I really need to get them out. And I was like, okay, it's done. I'm doing it. So I've already progressed a bit on the Prospector. So there is, I guess, the main torso, I guess we could consider it, is made. I've got some of the conveyor systems set up. I have not set it up for the hydrogen system yet, but then again, I am also not planning to make this too heavy on it, because I did save the cells, the thruster cells from the previous ones, just in case I wanted to reuse them. But this is what I have so far. Sorry, I have no lights yet, but this is the little cockpit. Probably gonna change these little. Actually, I should go ahead and do that now. I know a lot of people do use the spray gun. If anybody wants to use that, by all means, use whatever mods y'all feel free are handy to allow y'all's construction to be a little faster. I just like to keep mine a little vanilla as possible, just for the sake of anybody who doesn't want to mess too much with all the advanced stuff. And I know it's a little overcomplicated for some, but I will dip into scripts. I will dip into subgrids lightly enough to allow you to kind of make some cool stuff and still not get overwhelmed with all the little BS stuff. I'll make some of my own if I'm trying to, if I'm really dedicated to it. Like, okay, there's some things I'm more dedicated to. I spent almost 2 hours on like a lighting system for a little array. Actually, I think, yeah, it was over here, but I deleted it. It was attached, like right embedded in here. But yeah, this is the body that I have so far. I've got cargo, I've got wiring, or the connecting points to a refinery and an assembler, as well as plenty of fans and oxygen tanks. Of course, I've got them layered underneath here. These are always, hopefully will always be full. Of course, your 2 hydrogen tanks, 1 large container, and I know everything's bulky and in the ass. It's my reclaimer. It's gonna have a big ass. What really wants to get the main thing I really want to get is to make sure I kind of layer flat up here to allow my little turrets, and then a little sloped area to allow my little Prototech drill to kind of shift down, come out, and start drilling. In the regards of docking, The only method I'm really coming up with is one thing that I know that is going to make this ship almost not really wanting to be built by a lot of people because it will require a script. It is going to be vectored thrust only. So if I lose a cell, I lose power. Complete side. If I lose both cells on one side, well, guess what? This right side, I'm going to be spinning around probably. I haven't explored too much what happens on that part. I've got some Prototech batteries because I've already unlocked the Prototech batteries in my survival world. I've already, I think, captured like 2 and several of the small gridded ones. I've taken a refinery and a drill. I have not found the reactor. I found the thruster, but it got blown up. That was the only one I've found so far that I've survived. I know this is going to be the docking bay, where I'm actually going to be moving cargo in and out. And I will have buttons underneath these little individual spots to do their own thing. I'll have them labeled. Or I'll probably have one little button thing right here. Or right here, maybe. I don't know. I'll put it somewhere. And to control the pads, the hinge door, bay doors, and let me get rid of that. Yeah, okay. So control it whenever you're looking at it. Yeah, I never realized that that's kind of handy, oddly enough. I'm gonna say that's kind of useful, because that's my hydrogen tanks above me. That's the little, these little things. I didn't realize, oh yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize they came out just enough. Though that technically might be the reason they become a grid. Because I think in order for them to fully become a grid, there has to be an edge of contact. That's why there's edges on these. It's just invisible unless they're connected. At least that's my theory. I don't even know technically how all this shit runs. This is all their magic stuff. I just find it all very cool. I guess the only thing I might have is probably some ion thrust lightly on the body, but otherwise no thrust. It's primarily cell based, and I'm going to redesign the cells because I want it to have little fingers that'll just, like, I guess, absorb the impact. Because I've also been learning to adjust the settings, because while I was I just realized the problem I've been having can be solved. But I needed to redesign the ship anyway. I'm fucking myself up. I need to relax. So I was gonna redesign it anyway because I did not like the interior, not navigational enough. I didn't have a refinery. I didn't have the assembler, so I couldn't make the stuff that I want. I've got a little cargo here at the bottom while I'm messing around, so that way I can turn these. This will be used to show the LCD script I will be showing off. A programmable block to be showing off. This is what we use for the scripting. The normal programmable block, of course, I'm using the DLC version just because the way it's shaped and helps out with the ship. Because this is my ship. I'm designing her. Leave me be. I've had some timers. I think I've had an event controller somewhere over here. Yeah, right here. An event controller and another timer, plus a custom turret controller for my little. Oh no, that one's got a dome. Well, now I've got a custom turret controller. I will probably need it. Because I was thinking I'm going to have to redesign the flat guns anyway. It will be weaponized with, of course, basic weapons. I will have... Let me show you real quick. We will be using no Gatling turrets, no rocket turrets. Because, one, I don't like using rockets. It uses up too much uranium. And ultimately, most of my shots miss, even with the regular turret. If there are going to be missiles on anything, they are going to be on close range drones. But the Gatling turrets, I will have flak guns for that, and I've got specific ones that I've already designed, but I'm going to adjust to probably add some autocannons to it. We will be using the assault cannons and the artillery turrets primarily. 2 assault cannons on the left and right side, of course, of the cockpit. 1 assault cannon probably at the bottom, just in case one little fighter fucking kind of wants to creep up underneath us. It's going to have to dodge something because it is a heavy hitter. And then I'm going to have 1 artillery turret probably right here at the ass end. I'm debating at the top or on the sides, considering the cells are going to be here. I do not want them to be hit by that. Because, well, like I said earlier, once I'm out of that cell, I'm out of that cell. But also the primary reason I am going to do these vector thrusters is so that way I don't have to worry about the thrusters being placed all over weirdly on the body. And I can print these all separately and have them attached to the body when I want to print this ship later. Because this will all be one grid. Minus, of course, the bay door and then the wings. But I guess let's... Okay, hold on. One more thing. Technically need to do this. To edit. Need this T again. Near that. Curve. I want to get these artillery turrets placed before or not artillery, assault cannons placed before I get too far ahead, because I'm going to start building this. Hey, was that a good call? Should I put it out one more? Probably gonna put it out one more. Just in case. No. Actually, no. That was a good idea. Doing that because I'm going to have a sleep body. I forgot I had the windows and the docking bay right here. Which I'm also going to be using as the connecting points for the drill. But it's also going to be used for like refueling. Or actually, fuck that. We will just have a merge block under here. Fuck all that extra mess. Alright, let's start fixing up this body. Get it section up more. There. there. And there. Because that will be the points of where my vector thrusters are going to connect. Right there and there, because that also, yep, works. At least the work. Well, fuck. I guess I technically gotta fucking take care of the drill too. Yay. Damn it, she's gonna have a... I gotta figure out... Frustrating. No, we're gonna want heavy. This... Why do you look so funky in that? Sorry, I was getting really focused here for a second. So I'm also trying to create a way for the people who are just here in the, I guess, office, not fully captain status. At least someone right here can kind of catch a peek. What's going on outside? Go ahead and put you two both right there. Put you right here. I guess we're gonna have to put you not actually. Okay, cool. That's still one piece. I'm surprised it is. Where'd it go? Get the buttons over here so we can close up this door. No, we will do you right there. Control panel there. Can I do anything with this? Technically. Right there. Right there. Technically, let's look for our doors, group that. This is the DE, D. You know what? I guess this is a way. This ship will be the record. I will go make a note somewhere. This will be a C class or a Cthulhu class ship named actually I don't want to name it the Prospector. I don't want to name it the Mole. What's a creature that's known for eating the earth other than like fucking like Marvel or like superheroes? Huh. Well, there's Nidog. Call it Wayne. Just call it Wayne. That's my Wayne. Wayne the Devourer. Fuck it, let's go. Good old Wayne. Wayne, and then this will be doors. Or here. Big doors. Nope. Whenever I'm gonna be looking for it, I'm gonna look up hangar door and then I'm gonna be all confused. Yeah, I was gonna say I can look up hangar now. Set that to open, close. Yeah, there we go. That should tell me whether this place is fully vacuum sealed or not. Let's check out lighting. Need to expand the radius a bit. Nope, there is a leak somewhere. Those airlocks are yellow. Something open. Something open to space. Why was that red? What was red? No, that's whited out. Why are you whited out? That should be white, like a solid white. Actually, this is exactly where Leak Finder, that little mod, comes in handy. I should probably go grab that real quick, just so I could figure out where the heck this thing is at. Because it doesn't look... Okay, hold on, let's close it. Is it this room? No, this room's sealed. Okay. Okay, hold on, this is the reactor room. It is a reactor room. What the heck in reactor room is not sealed? Alright, okay, hold on, we don't even technically know that. Let's close that door. It is reactor room. Is it the walls? Yes, we're technically meant to be able to with... Let's see here. With an exhaust. Yeah, there it is. Let me put that in list 9. Let me take this outside real quick. I can show you. Open up the door. Technically, you've got like these little smokestacks. And depending on how much power consumption determines on how much smoke the output, and they added one for the exhaust cap, which is a lot smaller and meant to cover like open ports inside the ship, which I really liked. And I was hoping there was a way to put like its power dependency, like I guess for example, I'm gonna put one right there and one right there. I'm gonna look up exhaust cap. Sadly not. Actually, does that make it do anything? Does that make that do anything? Yeah, what is my power consumption? Hold on. Because I've got the reactor connected and I know I'm in created. Oh, duh. Yeah, what's not? I think it's the walls. I think it's because of the piping on the walls. These are always funk whenever you're trying to make them seal. Let's see if there's a way to force it to create smoke, because I still want like the industrial smoke effect, because that'd still be fucking aesthetically pleasing. Alright, let me get rid of the walls. There's a No, it's the walls. Or if you... I don't think we have that kind of effect just yet. Yet. Keyword yet. I'm hoping with the aerodynamics mod, whenever I install that again, I should have it. Actually, oh yeah, let me go do that real quick. Let's do that. Let's get that little leak thing. Load game, edit settings, mods. Actually, we should double check and make sure we know how that. Open terminal, the start scan. Okay. Load that up. I don't think we have got that yet, but I know with Space Engineers 2, that system is running a lot more advanced than this current one. Because they're actually adding a proper water, like with buoyancy and actual physics to it. And I imagine they're going to be doing a little bit more advanced shit with the air itself. Because you're supposed to be able to build like submarines, so that means you're going to have air buoyancy, or not air buoyancy, but air volume that'll actually have to like affect objects, like with wind and shit like that, which would make sense because they're also having more advanced weather. So that would also be really fucking handy. Shit. Oh, yeah, let me connect that. Damn it. Well, I want to add that wall. I guess I'll add this. I just need to make it seal. Is that enough? Wasn't it? Oh, where is this? Goddamn you! Rendered. Where? No mames. Alright, hold on. We can. We will. Oh. Oh yeah, I see it right there. Oh. Yeah, no. Damn it. Well, technically I can throw a fucking junction right there, and that'd be fine. Okay. That solved that issue. Thank you. Right. Thank you. Handy. Oh, I may not even need the fucking... God damn it. go. Alright, that should keep that pressurized. Let's take a looky. Still no? I don't know. Now is it because of the walls? Oh, duh. Let me close my doors. Oh. Why is it going straight through this? Fascinating. Okay, well, good to know. Let's fucking, I guess, get outside. Let's close that up so that way everything else in here is pressurized. I can't wait to set that little event controller. It's gonna be so much easier. Alright, yep. Up, up, and up. Oh, right there. Okay, duh. Oh, go on. I guess technically probably the best idea. Probably do that up to there. Oh. Let's get some light in here, good lord. Flash morning. What do you? What do you? Nice. We can make her ribbed. Ah, oh, damn! I'm offset by one. Fuck. And I can just add one more. Who cares? There. We'll get rid of it. I'd be okay if they made like a 90-degree hinge. Yes, I know you're still leaking. Calm down. I'll do this. Grab the. Actually, no, this. I'm gonna put that light. There it is. Time to add coloration. there. And with build vision, I'll be able to kind of at least appropriately label these whenever we get to that stage. And then we take this all the way across. And we can take you all the way over here. And you all the way over here. Sideways. The one spot I did not seal appear naturally. Okay, we will do give him a little thin. Yeah. Give her a slight chunk in ass, but actually take care of you two real quick. And you. Also just realized something. Didn't put you. Laser antenna. My round beacon. Want to add a compact antenna just for the extension, but that is going to get in the way. Cthulhu real quick so I can dissect that flat gun real quick. Oops. Oh yeah. So let's just have a little bit of a bridge. We're starting to come out where I can attach the vector thrusters and essentially start filling out last minute details. I mean, technically, if I wanted to, I could just throw these fucking cells on. I don't even know to vector thrust it, but I want to. But I don't need to. No, it was the whole point. Of getting those programmable blocks in there. So that way we can actually test them out. See how the vector thrust works. That vacuum out, I guess. There we go. Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to put that there. Put that there. Alright, there we are. Yep, there we go. So that's the artillery. Alright. That's big boys. Everything technically taken care of. For at least what out of what wasn't a necessity out of the build. Sorry I went silent there for a hot minute. I was really freaking focused on this. I was trying. And then we will actually do a regular passage. Right there. And now, all we really need to do is just create the vector thruster, which I'm still going to kind of keep the design based off of this, but I'm going to have a large industrial thruster with ions on the side, but I will have fucking hydrogen thrust on the sides of it. I'm debating on whether or not to make a big, honestly, I'm even debating on freaking making them. Because the ship will come out fine either way. Because I kind of realized the problem that I had and how I can freaking fix it. That's what? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, that's almost in the exact same spot as it was last time. No. Okay, I don't want to shift it back too much further. Guys, I don't know what to do. Fuck it, do it, we're doing it. Nope. Stop second guessing it, James. You're freaking yourself out about it. Relax. Let's get that painted blue. That gray, put it right there. We'll be ready to be putting up the drill. I wonder, does each merge block hold the memory of the previous grid? Got you. So it might be a bad idea to do that. No, not necessarily. 5. One more. You. And you. And then we're golden. Actually, before we get that far, I'm gonna go ahead and make a small just a small top little deck, so whenever we come out the door, at least we're waiting. I'm okay with just this little room of air being vacuumed out every so often. Because what, it's just my room and then Either way, that's finally hooked up. It might look a little funky outside, but that's fine. Create the texture outside. I guess we'll go ahead and get started on the drill. I need 3 blocks distance. And we attach square hinge. Merge block. Come on, where is it at? There you are. Let you there, you there, let you 2 lock. Connect the conveyors, get rid of all. And now what we can technically do is put another square piston right there with the Prototech drill should sit back. Pretty nicely.